Later, we make savory garlic butter pretzels with cheesy dipping sauce.
Welcome back. A rescue pup, welcoming that rescue pup into your home for the first time can be exciting, but it can be nerve-wracking.
True.
And there's some signs we should keep our eyes open for. And Larissa is here with her foster dog, Brody. Hi, Brody.
Look
How
at him.
are you?
Chill little guy.
We are all,
I
think,
know.
all animal lovers at one point. Whether I know yours
Yeah, it's
passed
my
on.
path.
Roma, you have beautiful dogs.
I do. I have 3 big, giant Irish wolfhounds.
Yes.
I
The
mean,
last
when
of
you
which
say
you rescued,
giant.
right? The youngest one.
Oh, yeah, look, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
They're bigger than you, Roma.
Well, the biggest one, Archie, is 200 pounds. He certainly is. Yeah,
Yeah.
big dog.
But you said you rescued
Yeah,
one of them?
rescued 2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah, and they came together. They had been in the same home, and the mother had gotten sick in the house, and she was hoping somebody would take 2 of them. And they're pretty big dogs to commit to,
Yeah.
you know. But we love them. They're great pets.
Well, there's a lot there to love. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
really.
Thank you for rescuing those, because a lot of people would go, oh my goodness, that's a lot of work.
Let's talk about bringing those dogs home
Yes.
and some of the behaviors.
Well,
that
so
we may or
everybody
see.
who's brought a dog home, or more often than not, I should say, you're really excited. I, try to hook up all my friends with a perfect dog
Right.
or cat, and they get home and they're like, yay! And then 2 or 3 hours later, I get a text that said, oh my goodness, is this normal? Help, what do I do? And, we had Dana, who works on our show, who
Right,
adopted
yeah.
Buddy
We love
White.
Dana.
There's Dana
Yes.
and Buddy. This was a couple months ago. And lo and behold, a couple hours later, poor Dana's going, oh my gosh, Buddy White isn't eating. Buddy White hasn't gone to the bathroom. Do I need to go to the vet? I'm going to be a
real
crazy
text.
mom. Yes, these
Those are her
all
real
from
text
Dana.
messages.
She was
Yes.
texting me, too. She was texting anyone that would listen.
Yes, and so my first point is that a lot of abnormal behaviors are actually normal those first few days, especially digestive issues. If they're not eating, if they're eating a lot, if they're not using the restroom like you think they should, that is okay. It's a big adjustment for dogs, just like it is for people.
Right.
They're with a new family, a new home, new smells, maybe another animal that they don't know. Give it at least a week to kind of chill out and get into a normal routine.
Yeah.
If I would say between 5 and 7 days they're not eating or going to the bathroom, that's a good indication you should probably go to a vet.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything we should or shouldn't feed a rescue dog once we bring him to the house?
Yes, very important to try to keep anything consistent that was consistent, because very little is consistent for a rescue dog. One of those things is food. So when you get a dog from a shelter or a rescue, ask them what kind of food they were on. And we have a couple examples here. And a lot of rescues will also send you home with the food that they had been giving them.
Good.
But if you want to transition them, that is not a problem. However, do it gradually. Let's say they're eating dry food only, and you want to switch them to this wet food. You do a couple pieces of the wet food. A few days later, you start incorporating a couple more pieces of the wet food, cutting back on the dry food. And then you get to a point where it's mostly wet food, and so on and so forth. Do it over a couple weeks, and you can always add some digestive enzymes. It's a powder. It doesn't taste. They don't mind it, and it helps with their stomach and probiotics and things like that. And
That's
it's
the
not that
digestive enzyme.
expensive.
Yeah. That's great
You
for
can do
humans.
that for any animal,
Yeah, well,
too.
not that one for humans, but the digestive
Right.
enzyme for humans.
Right.
that you put in
Yes, but that can go for a rescue animal, a not rescue animal, whatever you've got. It's very helpful if they're having any stomach issues.
Yeah, so we should do this anytime we're switching
Yes.
our pet to a new food, whether it's dry to dry or whatever, you just
Yes,
right.
dry and wet, I only have that so it's really easy to see.
Right.
But regardless of
Okay.
what food you're talking about, if you're moving onto a new diet, do it over a couple weeks' time. Slowly introduce them, because they
I
have
made that
sensitive
mistake.
tummies.
Made that mistake with Fred, the golden. Switched him immediately because he eats anything. He got the worst outbreak. He was hives everywhere, and I was like, oh, so we switched it back. All right. Let's focus away from my bad parenting skills on to being playful with our pets when we bring them home.
Okay, here's
you say
something
we do?
I see.
We don't.
You do, but you want to watch it. How many times, and you can imagine if you were going to go get a new doggy, a puppy, a not puppy, whatever it may be, you bring it home, you're so excited. Oh my gosh, I want to show it to my mom. I want to show it to my cousins. Let's invite all the friends over. Let's take
It's
it
like
to
a
the
new
park.
toy.
It is. It's a new
Yes.
novelty toy at that very beginning,
Right.
those first few
Yep,
days.
yep.
That is very stressful.
Right.
You should absolutely give it at least 7 days of a calm, peaceful home. It's just like a person, and if you're overstimulated, you can act out in different ways. You want to set them up for success and not failure. So let them acclimate. And same goes for overly loving them. Brody, oh my God, Brody, come here, sit on my lap. I'm never going to leave you. You're never going to go on the floor. You're going to be here forever and ever. That is going to set him up for a couple weeks down the road when I'm like, okay, Brody, mom's leaving. He's going to be like, wait, what? And
Brody's like, I know what's up there.
And that's when separation anxiety can start. And you don't want to start that separation anxiety because that's a harder problem to deal with later on.
How about giving them full run of the house as soon as they come home?
Yeah.
Because they've been cooped up in those little cages.
Don't.
Okay, good.
You might
Again,
feel
now I
guilty.
can.
Wow.
You might go, oh my gosh, the poor thing's been in a cage for 2 months. Yes, it's very sad. But the more the sadder, I don't know if that's the word, the sadder situation is you give it free reign. I want you to have upstairs, downstairs, inside, outside, everything. It becomes a problem and starts doing destructive things. And guess what? It goes back to the shelter. So you don't want to do that. You want to start from the beginning, set up a calm space for their dog bed. This, again, is the first couple of weeks when they might not be knowing you all that well.
And they certainly don't know the space.
Exactly.
Yeah, like-
So here's a don't do and a do. This is my house, as you can see. The dog bed right here behind the couch. And mind you, I'm on the couch if I'm home, watching TV or on the computer. Look what he's doing. He was like, I'm not sitting back there. I'm going on the couch because that's where the fun happens. You want it to be far enough away that you're not going to trip over it and your guests aren't going to get annoyed, but that they can see the action and feel the action and kind of learn their new
part of the
surroundings.
family.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes. So you want to be careful, keep it out of the way, give them a safe space, but don't have them too far out of the way.
I used to do
Okay.
the Kai and Avery. I'd make them sit behind the couch all the time. I was like, out of sight. I'll just throw food back there for it. That's
Once again, parent fail. No.
And then
true
a
at all.
couple other quick tools. X-Pen, which is a doggy playpen, by the way, you can buy them at different lengths, different heights. They move in all different directions. There are 8 sides, 6 sides, 12 sides, depending on what you buy, and it's an amazing tool to keep them contained if you're running around the house. The last thing I do say, and it does come with a warning though, if you're in the house with a new dog, I always recommend keeping the leash on them in the house. That way you can keep hold of them if they're starting to wander and run off to do something maybe naughty. If you're on your computer typing away, doing some emails, you can easily step on it or put it under a table leg. That way you're keeping an eye on them. They know who's boss, and they can only do so much damage right here. And if they do something wrong, you can catch it and start working on positive reinforcement.
Oh, that's great.
That's a great
But,
idea.
but the warning that I do want to mention, if you're leaving the house, do not leave a leash on. They can get wrapped
Right.
up, caught up, and it
that's
obviously
true.
leads to not good situations. So
tips.
always take that off then.
Good tips.
Brody
Thank
is
you.
so chill.
No.
So
He just
Allie
wants
and
the
I are like
food.
having heart palpitations. We're like,
I know.
Oh, you too can take Brody. I'm thinking.
Thank you so much, Larissa. We're going to come right back. So Be It actress Talitha Bateman is here. We're talking about growing up with 8 siblings. Wow. That's a big family. Next.